I'd hate to have to root against Dusty Baker. I do like him as a manager.
Johnny
but I hope
B.
the
Baker.
Astros lose every freaking game.
Yeah.
I really do.
Well, now it brings into question a lot of things have happened in the last few years. Like, for example, remember the time where Osmus chose to pitch to Altuve, and he had a game-winning, I think, double against the Astros? Maybe Altuve knew what the pitch was coming. Maybe they weren't cheating. Osmus made the right move there.
Let me ask you this.
Makes you rethink everything.
It does. Do you think the whole course of this Tigers rebuild could be different?
Exactly.
Do you think that, okay, if these guys did come out, and you kind of laid it out, last segment, you admit to something, but don't really admit to something, but you at least take some accountability for their actions. Do you think that this would go away more quickly than them dodging everything, basically pleading the fifth, and continuing to ignore that it actually happened?
Not necessarily. I think it'll go away regardless. I just think that's the society we live in. I mean, it's.
I think it's going to be really nasty in a lot of ballparks this summer. I do.
Oh yeah, no, I think it will be as well. I actually was driving down Rochester Road in Troy last night, and there was a sign in front of an El Charro restaurant, and it said, "No signs today. The Astros stole them." I was like, "Hey, wow, making the humor making us all the way up to Michigan."
Have you heard Wojo's joke?
The Houston Asterisks.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's his. That's
definitely not. But he's trying to pass it off like it's his. Yeah,
that's weird.
Don't let him. Hold him accountable.
I will.
Wednesdays with Wojo.
I will definitely hold him
exactly.
accountable.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a girlfriend who you've been dating for a long time. Have you guys ever once gotten into a fight?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Has the fight ever potentially been your fault?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Have you ever apologized, even though you maybe didn't take full accountability? You said, "Hey, listen, I'm sorry if that offended you. I think I think mistakes were made on both sides. That it's not like you coming down and going, "Oh, I'm so sorry.
No.
I shouldn't." Yeah. It's like
I have the classic problem of I just want the fight to end.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to deal with this anymore. I want to watch the game.
Absolutely.
And so you end up apologizing and like taking ownership, but because you don't really believe that it was all your fault, you slowly like slip up at the end, and it's like, I mean, you really shouldn't have done that, but it's my fault. It really is. I'm sorry. And then it starts all over again.
Yeah.
Because your ego gets in the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, the amount of things I've apologized for over the years that I still don't think are my fault. That list is long. Vito on a cell phone on 97.1 The Ticket. Hello, Vito.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are we doing on this fine Michigan morning?
We are well. How are you, Vito?
Very good. Jamie, you got to control Wojo more. He was getting a little wild the other night. I know he likes to get going on all this stuff, but
that's Bogey's role. I can't. I have no control over that guy.
I do my best,
that's
Vito.
Bogey's
I
job.
do.
Yeah.
You guys were at the Red Wings game, and he was going nuts. That's all I'm going to say. I won't get on that. My point is this. If Altuve wants to run around with a buzzer, then he can go play Jeopardy. You cannot give immunity to a guy like that, and then he goes out and says, "Oh, we're going to win the World Series next year." I don't understand what Major League Baseball is thinking with this. Like, the guy is basically just running around, and I don't know, what did Bregman say exactly? I'm sorry, I wasn't 100% sure on that.
Bregman was asked basically every which way that he could be asked about it, and all he said was, Major League Baseball made their decision, the Astros made their decision, and that's about it.
So it's kind of like his version of Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, this is what we're dealing with. And then everybody wants to come out. I want to know what Justin Verlander has to say because he was there. But I don't know if, like, we're going to get Justin to come out and say a bunch of stuff, and then somebody else is going to come out and say, "Oh, he's dry snitching." Like, what is this? Like, either the people who know can't talk, and the people who don't know have nothing to say. So that's kind of where I'm at with the whole thing. If you're going to give people immunity or blanket whatever to go ahead and, say these things and come out and do this stuff, then frankly, I'm just confused as to how we're going to sweep this whole thing under the rug when everybody's getting away with whatever they want if they're a player.
See, and that's the problem, Vito. And when this whole, thing with Altuve and the buzzer and, that being the more sophisticated way of doing it, and then, of course, the video about him, hey, don't take my jersey off as he's rounding home, that, to me, it got me focused on Rob Manfred in Major League Baseball. because you do your investigation, you find the Astros $5 million, GM and manager fired, and then what? Beltran, mutual parting, whatever you want to call it. What's his name? Alex Cora with the Red Sox fired, and no players get suspended. It leads me to believe that Major League Baseball is protecting some of their young stars because they know how important they are. And what's one of the things that we criticize Major League Baseball for a lot? One, being
not
a little
promoting their young stars.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I was going to say,
I got it. I nailed
being boring,
it.
and then two, not promoting their young stars.
Yeah.
Doesn't it make you think, well, maybe Rob Manfred doesn't want to do that because it will, tarnish their legacy, and it might already be tarnished. And fans, I'm already speculating. Fans speculate, but why aren't any of these players suspended? If you have enough evidence to fire the manager, suspend the manager and the GM for a year before they got fired, how do you not have enough evidence to go after the players who willingly participated and may have orchestrated it when it was going on?
Because okay, if a guy uses steroids and he tests positive for steroids, you have a positive steroid test, okay? If Jose Altuve lays off a 2-0 pitch because there's a bang on a drum, how can you prove that he laid off the pitch because there was a bang on the drum? Maybe he just laid off the pitch. Maybe that's his plausible deniability. So you don't have, even though, they had 2 gloves for O.J. Simpson. They had a hat. They had blood. They had everything, but they were able to create a reasonable doubt. Maybe that's what it is I would assume that in the process of this investigation, there's people in Major League Baseball who've gone through and watched literally every at-bat that every Astro hitter had at Minute Maid Park during the 2017 and half of 2018. Every one. And there's that famous one that keeps getting played over and over again from the pitcher Farquhar for the White Sox, where he's pitching against Matt Adams. But just because there's a banging of a drum, the guy goes, "I just took the pitch because I took the pitch." I didn't hear anything, whatever. So I don't know. And also
then why suspend the GM and the manager? And why is Alex Cora gone? And why is Carlos Beltran gone? You know what I mean?
Because they were the
non-essentials.
They were the masterminds of it. It sounds like Cora and Beltran were the masterminds of it, and that Hinch and Lunau did not do enough to stop it, and so that's why. Look, I'm with you. And what Verlander,
the players hold, I think, a good deal of accountability.
I agree. And while Verlander may not have benefited individually in terms of he can't know what pitches are coming because he's the one delivering the pitches, he has lost the high ground permanently. Whenever Justin Verlander, there's a big baseball issue involving cheating, involving juiced balls, involving domestic violence, anything, he's lost the high ground. Because anytime he wants to chime in on Twitter and say something, it doesn't take away his greatness. It doesn't take away the fact that he's done a ton for charity in his career. It doesn't take away the fact that he's going to the Hall of Fame. It doesn't take away the fact that he married a supermodel. All that stuff's still true. But he has lost the moral high ground, which I thought he did a very good job of representing for a long time when he pitched for the Tigers. It's almost like going to the Astros while it burnished his career and burnished his Hall of Fame resume. It took away that, that loyalty and the originality that he had because he went to this new franchise, won a World Series, but was part of the whole mess.
Well, it also speaks to just being a total and complete hypocrite. And look, we might all fall into that category. I mean, you go to a new organization, you go to a new job or workplace, and you know what? Maybe beforehand when you were working for a different company, you didn't agree with their practices and what they were doing. But you know what? They're paying you double the salary. And, you can afford a better house and it's a greater, better situation for you. You have more creative freedom. You're probably not going to say a whole lot of bad things about that company at that point, are you? I get it. But for him to be as demonstrative about the steroids and, the juice balls and all the transparency in the game, to only go to the Astros and play with Alzuna, who had a domestic violence history, even though he spoke out against that.
Right. And
then for him to participate in this cheating scandal and cheat the integrity of the game, that's a lot for me to take when you're so staunch, in your beliefs.
Yeah. 248-539-9797. Coming up next, we'll go back to the NFL, preview the Super Bowl, which should be a good one. 97 won the ticket.